What's going on, fight fans? This is Capital Combat. Name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and it is official. Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev is going down November 19th in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, and I'm really looking forward to this fight. It is a pay-per-view fight. I'll probably buy it. I don't really think it needs to be on pay-per-view to move forward, but with everything going on at HBO, the Canelo card kind of going up and down. Well, Canelo versus Liam Smith card kind of go up and down. Fights coming on and going off. And Pacquiao not being on the HBO, more than likely not being on HBO for pay-per-view because of financial reasons. This is the most significant fight after the Canelo fight, after the Pacquiao fight, and after the Golovkin fight going on this year. So it's real interesting. I personally think, and a lot of people probably agree with me, a lot of people don't, that this is for the number one pound for pound fighter in boxing, not just the light heavyweight division. And a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't think so because this, that, and the other. Let's look at two things. Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward's resumes are probably the best out of a lot of boxers not named Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, Timothy Bradley, and Miguel Cotto. Both of these guys are undefeated. They're both 30-0. And it's the U.S. versus Russia. It's enough of a storyline there for us to be excited. And the craziest thing is these guys are very respectful of each other. They're actually, I believe, fans of each other, and they recognize the magnitude and the difficulty of the fight that they're going to be engaging in on November 19th. So, just to be honest, the only ones that are really talking trash during the fight are the Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev fans. I've heard just about everything. Kovalev is going to knock Ward out. Ward's going to outbox him. Ward's going to get the late stoppage. That's just what it is. And I think it's interesting because these guys have said nothing. They said they respect him. They're a great boxer. They've done what they had to do to get to this point, and now they're putting it all on the line. Sergey Kovalev has the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO belt. Adonis Stevenson has the WBC and is the lineal champion. If you want to consider the IBO, which I wouldn't, it's a guy named Umar Salamov, but okay. So whoever wins this fight, just based off resume alone, is going to be, in my opinion, the number one pound for pound guy. Again, like I said, look at they're undefeated. For a long time after Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward was the man. Just based off the Super Six and then beating Chad Dawson, he had good quality wins, and Edwin Rodriguez and Sullivan Barrera. Paul Smith, that was Paul Smith's fault. I'm going to be honest. I mean, he wasn't the greatest opponent for Andre Ward being 35-5, but he came in overweight. He came in unprepared, and this is a guy who, in his 5 losses up until that point, he gave Arthur Abraham all he could handle in the first fight. Then in the second fight, he really went at him. And then he's faced the George Groves and James DeGale, who were two up-and-coming guys in that division as well. So it's just that, and I have my computer because I can't remember the name of every fight. I just remember watching the fight. But that was Paul Smith's fault. And we all know that Alexander Brand, being as awkward as he is, probably wasn't a top 20 guy. We've discussed the financials with that one. I wish they would have given him more for that fight. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, Andre Ward was the number one pound for pound, or right after Mayweather as far as pound for pound for quite a while. Then he just had that period of inactivity after the Dawson fight because he had 9 months off after between the Froch and Dawson fight, then between the Dawson Rodriguez fight, it was a year. Then between Smith and Rodriguez, it was almost 2 years. And then Sullivan Barrera earlier this year, Brand in August. So now in November we're getting this. And in that time where he was inactive, his division, the super middleweight division, was sorting itself out, and that's when Sergey Kovalev was really going to town on cats. I want to say going as far back as, let's see, when I first started watching him was his fight with Darnell Boone. His second fight with Darnell Boone. I had to go back and watch the first one where he got knocked down. Well, he got hurt in that fight. But then I watched him beat Lionel Thompson, Gabriel Campillo. I missed the Cornelius White fight, but I knew against Cleverly was going down. I saw him against Agnew, Caparello. Agnew and Caparello they were undefeated, but competition-wise, they weren't the best competition. Agnew gave him some trouble from that southpaw stance, but he still ended up knocking him out. Same with Caparello. Then I really think he went up a big notch when he fought Bernard Hopkins, and really made him look bad in that fight. Then going to John Pascal. So his biggest fights again were Nathan Cleverly, Bernard Hopkins, John Pascal. Then he fought Najib Mohammadi, and then we got to Isaac Chilemba, who he did win convincingly in that fight, but Chilemba provided some problems. But up until then, aside from Chilemba and Bernard Hopkins, he was retiring and knocking people out in succession, and not any kind of late round fights. So he really crept up into the pound for pound. I would say that he is higher on the pound for pound list than Andre Ward. So that's why I think whoever wins will go to number one, over Chocolatito, over Pacquiao, over Thurman, Brook, whoever you have that Golovkin, whoever you have at that number one pound for pound, I would put them over that just based off resumes and ability. And some people don't think that, and I think that's crazy because that almost is, regardless of who you are rooting for, it's kind of dismissing that fighter by saying if he loses, he wasn't all that in the beginning, and if he wins, that you're going to claim he's number one pound for pound, but then you just said that it would be crazy to think of the winner as pound for pound. And let's be honest, whoever wins needs to fight Adonis Stevenson, because I really, really think about it, and I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think. I think Adonis Stevenson will be protected from the winner of this fight, because whoever wins will get the 3 belts, and then they will face Adonis Stevenson for a 4th belt and a lineal championship and a lineal title, lineal number one, however you want to say it, and that could lead to the first undisputed. The first undisputed fighter in any division for quite some time. I'm talking about 4 belts and lineal. Really think about the last time we've actually had something like that. That is insane. Doesn't matter if it's Andre Ward or Sergey Kovalev. Regardless of whoever wins, it's freaking insane. All right, and another thing to go on, because I know I'm rambling a little bit. I never had any doubt that this fight would happen because of the 2 fights that were on HBO and the effort that HBO was putting in to get these guys to fight each other and fighting often in a year. Because Kovalev will fight 3 times in a year if he can. Andre Ward has not fought 3 times in a year in quite some time. And I think to put that money out there and the resources for these guys to fight 3 times in a year to lead to this win or this fight in November is a really big thing. And they're banking on this. So my thing is put together a great undercard. With Luis Ortiz leaving Golden Boy and Rabinski winning the purse bid, they were thinking about putting on November, not 9th, 12th. But it would actually make more sense to put it on HBO pay-per-view, either in a split site or the same site against Alexander Ustinov, because that's a good quality fight, and I think someone to get knocked out in that fight. especially if you want to push Luis Ortiz to the forefront of the heavyweight division to challenge either Fury, Klitschko, Wilder, you name it. So, again, I had no doubt that this fight was happening. It's been some nonsense. No one believed it because Andre Ward didn't show up to a presser, which was after a fight, and he informed Kathy Duva and Sergey Kovalev's team that he wasn't going to be there for whatever reason. And everything had pretty much been worked out except the location of the fight. We knew it couldn't be in Oakland, and we knew it couldn't be in Russia. So they were trying to decide on the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which is what Kathy Duva wanted, and I actually worked for T-Mobile, so I was hoping that they would actually put it there because it's a really nice arena. Or the Barclays in Brooklyn, which would make sense because owner Mikhail oh my God, let me look up the Mikhail Prokhorov. I'm sorry, I didn't want to pronounce that because he is a fun-loving Russian billionaire or multimillionaire billionaire, something like that. And Brooklyn, New York has a large Russian population between Jersey and New York. Also, Rock Nation is based out of New York, so you know, with Rock Nation being the promoter of Andre Ward, they're going to get people to the Barclays. So Las Vegas is the place when it comes to boxing, but the Barclays was a damn good substitute if they put it there. But it's at the T-Mobile Arena. I don't have a problem with it. It's going to be bananas in Las Vegas, and I'm looking forward to it. And that was the only hang-up, was the location. Everything had been worked out. Ring size, gloves, purses, whatever. Last thing, arena has been chosen. The fight's happening. Look forward in November. 3 months. I can't wait. If you got any questions, guys, feel free to put something in the comment section. Email us at capitalcombat@gmail.com. Search us on Capital Combat at Facebook, Capital Combat on Google+, and Capital Combat on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. We don't mind talking. Keep it respectful. And hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, because the more that you guys show that y'all like it and view it, the more content we can bring to you, and the more we can get the information out to everyone. Until next time, guys. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming.